Laura Dearman will tell you she's pretty much like any expectant mom, eagerly awaiting the birth of her third child.
Definitely hearing the baby moving a lot. Yeah.
But there is one difference. When the big day comes, she won't be heading to a hospital. She won't even be calling a doctor. Instead, she'll drive 4 hours to come here, a 1,700-acre farm in rural Tennessee.
I believe in my body to birth my baby, to grow my baby and nourish my baby. I just don't think that birth is an illness that needs to put me in the hospital.
Laura is one of a growing number of moms moving forward by looking back, choosing to give birth like women generations ago with a midwife.
Midwives provide highly individualized care, and that's what a lot of women are looking for.
The word itself is from Old English, meaning with woman, and midwives were once a standard part of routine deliveries. But by the 1880s, the field of obstetrics began to develop, and pregnancy was increasingly seen as a medical issue to be managed by doctors. Midwives in America became rare. Today, they attend to just 8% of all births. But in some countries, midwives remain the norm. In the United Kingdom, they deliver the majority of babies. And for what it's worth, maternal and infant mortality rates are significantly lower than in this country. Which may explain why more American moms are saying something was lost.
You're calming. You're telling her, this is how we come into the world. And here's what you can do to make it easier.
The unlikely leader of the midwife movement is 73-year-old Ina May Gaskin. Her books about childbirth have sold more than 1 million copies and are often passed from woman to woman. Over the past 40 years, Gaskin's delivered more than 1,200 babies on this farm.
Do they ever tell you why they've decided to come here instead of the hospital?
Didn't have any choice where they were, or felt that they didn't have any choice, that felt like that they were belittled or had a bad experience somewhere else.
In part, Gaskin says many of her mothers worry about the chaos they associate with a hospital birth, spoofed in countless comedies like Knocked Up.
Maybe we can take it down just a little. I think you're going to scare the other pregnant women.
Dude, you kidding me?
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Hollywood likes drama, and that's exactly what we don't need for birth.
These women have created change from the woods of Tennessee. They've impacted women globally.
Mary Wigmore and Sarah Lamb are the directors of a new documentary called Birth Story about Gaskin and her fellow farm midwives.
We feel like we're an order of spiritual, revolutionary, lay, free midwives. And we feel that the sacrament of birth belongs with the family.
Oh, sweetie. Like us.
We were actually making our own culture about birth in which fear was not going to be a big part.
If you get to experience a little bit of Ina May's approach, it might just open what's possible for you just a little bit more.
It's an approach born in the early 70s when Gaskin and 5 hippie friends set up a midwifery practice on the farm after traveling the country in a caravan.
You know, with a lot of people, when you talk about midwives, you know, kind of people just roll their eyes and like, oh, that's such a hippie thing. I would never do that. You know, I'm going to do it in the hospital where it's safer.
Well, I think it's 100% critical for people to realize that you can have midwifery-led care in a hospital setting as well.
You're taking good care of yourself. That's important.
In fact, in the United States, nearly 90% of midwives are nurses with a master's degree.
The truth is that midwives really look to the science and look to the evidence and have incredible skills that can get you through your birth process.
Dr. Julie Cantor lectures on women's health issues at UCLA Medical School.
And that doesn't mean a medication-free birth. It doesn't mean an out-of-hospital birth. Midwives use technology judiciously. High touch, low tech, using technology when it's necessary.
Still, in this country, many view a midwife-assisted birth as risky. After all, obstetricians are medical doctors, ready to handle any complication. But midwives say they screen patients and know long before delivery if a particular case, twins for example, would be best handled by an obstetrician. And Dr. Cantor says for the majority of births,
we're throwing a lot of money and a lot of technology at something that actually works better when you have less. Less is more.
I mean, what is wrong with the way American women are giving birth in hospitals today?
There's too many drugs, too many C-sections, too many inductions, and then there's not enough postpartum care.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for hanging in there. I knew you could. We're made to give birth, just the way, you know, a horse is. The rest of us, we're as good as every other mammal. Don't criticize nature. Stand in awe of it.